Well, my first research experience was actually as an undergraduate student, and my chemistry teacher had grants to take students out into the wilderness and study lake water. And that was beautiful and wonderful, and I thought, wow, this is what chemists do? I need to be a chemist. My major focus is studying how plants can be used to treat disease or prevent disease. We're interested in identifying the molecules in plants that are responsible for their biological activity. We're specifically focused on treating drug-resistant bacterial infections, such as multi-drug-resistant staph infections, MRSA, and also inflammation, such as the inflammation that's associated with colds and flus, arthritis, you name it. When I very first came here to UNC Greensboro 11 years ago, I thought I would start out by studying this plant known as Goldenseal, which grows in the hardwood forests of North Carolina, actually. It's native to this part of the country. And what we find with this plant is we find that it contains a bunch of diverse chemical compounds that act in very different ways against the bacteria, and that all those different ways can help with treating an infection. A number of students come to me because they have experience with a particular illness in their family that they're interested in treating, or they have experience with a particular type of traditional medicine that they're interested in researching. We actually look a lot at traditional therapies that are used in traditional medicines, traditional Native American traditions in the United States, sometimes also traditional Ayurvedic medicine, traditional Chinese medicine, look at plants that have been used for those purposes and try to understand how they work, do they work, what do they work best for. It's really exciting to take a mixture of unknown chemicals from a plant and see what it does, and then try to identify the chemicals that are responsible for that. And often we find totally new activities that no one knew of, or find totally new molecules that no one's ever identified before. So it has kind of that National Geographic, out there on the edge, searching out, answering questions that no one's ever answered. The traditional Western pharmaceutical approach is all about identifying a single compound, isolating a single compound, and using that to develop a drug. But that's not the way that traditional medicines work, and most of the world still relies on traditional therapies that are multi-component mixtures. And so we're interested in identifying multiple active constituents in a mixture and figuring out ways to study that mixture and understand what it's doing. And often that's very different than what happens when you take one of those components out of the mixture and look at it by itself. It's great. And it's all the more great because you had to fail 99 times before you succeeded that 100th time. So that's very satisfying.